Generic greetings and welcome to the Last Starship. Today's beverage is a very spacey blue milk. In fact, it is indeed a blueberry milkshake. So, welcome to the Last Starship. This is a space-based spaceship building, fighting, exploration, trading, and factory game. Basically, there's a lot of game in the game with various modes of play like arena, creative, sandbox, and the story mode. And naturally, I've played and displayed it many times on the channel because, well, for a start, I've enjoyed it, but also it has a fairly solid pedigree in that it's by Introversion Software, the creators of, among other things, Prison Architect. So naturally, I was going to check this one out, and I have done so over the course of the last sort of 3 years when it's been in early access. In fact, it does say here, after 5 years of development and 3 years of early access, we are very happy to announce that we are exiting early access and launching version 1.0 of the Last Starship. So it is now sort of rubber stamped done. Although we can expect, probably going by, let's say, past endeavours, to see some more updates. But yeah, it is now out in its full version 1, and we are going to see what it has to offer. We're going to start a new campaign and go through it. And as I said, I've played and displayed it on the channel in the past. If you've seen that, you probably know what you're in for. If not, then basically the story mode is to boldly go, embark on a new journey through story-driven sci-fi episodes, forge your own path through story-driven episodes all around the sector, take part in the construction of a galactic mega project, which is the Stargate project. And I think in previous versions, I've got up to, I think it's probably the 6th or 7th phase of the Stargate. You have to sort of build it in parts. But the idea is that we will create a starship, more than one in fact, and we'll explore, we'll gather resources, we'll fight, we'll do various story missions, and well, this is that. Let's go to begin game, and hopefully it is one you will enjoy. So we will start. It is the 23rd century. Humanity has colonized the stars. Well, good for humanity. Millions now thrive on distant worlds, living hundreds of light years from Earth. Wonderful. As space becomes the new frontier, an era of unprecedented exploration and expansion unfolds. Powerful corporations dominate entire regions, but beyond their reach lies uncharted territory filled with untold mysteries and boundless opportunities. The CEO of the Interstellar Mining Corporation has issued a daring challenge: build a stargate powerful enough to reach our nearest galaxy. With trillions of funding up for grabs, the stage is set for fearless adventurers to forge their own path into the cosmos. Will you rise to the challenge and chart your own course among the stars? Well, I hope. So this is our little shuttle here, and we are being, well, I say us, our crew is being ferried to a new locale, which is going to be our first ship. So we're passing some other construction here. This is the construction yard, and I'm liking the colours in the background there. Very nice. And we are docking up to our very first ship, which is, well, at the moment it is just a shell of a vessel. It is going to be mostly in this episode sort of tutorial stages of the game where we go through and it's going to tell us what we need to do. Like I say, if you've seen the game previously, whether it be a series we've done in the past on the channel or others, then you pretty much know what you're in for. But otherwise, well, yeah, yes, let's see how we get on. So, tutorial, welcome to our new home. It says this vessel is fresh out of the shipyard production line. It's just an empty hull right now, without power or breathable atmosphere. Our job is to fix that. Go next to continue. We will do that. Use WSD and arrow keys to move around. Yeah, we're pretty much up on that. And also, let's begin by installing a reactor to generate ship power, and also go to construction and install it. So yeah, we can see that we have the name of the ship on the top there, which is the Procedurally Cruiser by Orion Industries. It shows our hull rating and our O2 level, which is 0. Ratings are shown on the left. I believe they're broken down into 4 different things. I think it's combat, industry, trading, and something else. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see those later on. We've got shipyard services, which is to fabricate ships so you can build from scratch. I think you can also hook it up to Steam Workshop and load things in like that. You've got time controls. We've got the different ships available. So that is the Belfast shipyard. You can see the scale of it. This is our ship over here, and this is the shipyard. We've got ships available for sale. So this is the Florence Bulk Hauler. We've got the GMC mining station. I like that. And then new ship, which is Fairly new. Anyway, back over to the cruiser. Let's follow the tutorial, which is telling us to go to construction, install, and then we need to install the reactor. So we're going to click on that one. It says burns high energy fuel to produce power, must be supplied with fuel via a pipe, then use cables to connect to other powered equipment, generates a maximum output of 100 megawatts of power. It's a 3x3 form factor and is rotatable. So it says stamp the reactor down inside your ship. So I'm going to put it in, I'm going to say there. You can see I'm rotating around. All that's doing is rotating the inputs and the outputs. So there's a fuel input and there's a output of the energy for the power. So crew, who is currently in spacesuits, are going to pick up the reactor and then install it. There it is. The reactor needs fuel, so we need a fuel loader. So let's do that. We'll go to install. We'll say fuel loader, and I'm just going to position it right next to the reactor, so there. Sometimes it is a good idea to leave gaps, mainly for utilities and cabling and things like that. However, for this vessel, which is going to be our sort of basic one, although often when it comes to this, one ship becomes every vessel and does pretty much all of the tasks that is required, but we'll see how we get on. In past series, we've done it so we have a vessel that's all about just making stuff, so it's fabricating and crafting and the factory stuff. We've had a combat vessel, in fact, a couple of those. We've had an exploration vessel, a gas collector, other such things as well. Anyway, let's just go to piping here. And we need to connect the pipe like so. So the pipe goes from the fuel line over to here. Now the pipes themselves are generic in that they will carry liquid, they will carry gases, etc. It's not set to any particular type of pipe. It's just based on what is actually physically connected to. Great, the reactor is now activated. We are now generating power for our ship. We now need to provide breathable atmosphere, and that's done with an air duct. Install an air duct somewhere near the reactor, so we'll say air duct, and it's putting it in the middle once again. I will rotate it around. I'm going to put the item there. You notice this thing here, this is a ladder. This is where you have essentially crew quarters. So you can see if we go from here and over, this is the crew quarters on the top. The game does not concern itself with detailed needs for the crew. So yes, you do have to have a level of oxygen and food and not have too much CO2 build up and get rid of waste, things like that. But that, as far as it goes, you don't need to look at like their needs. So you don't have to have like happiness and and things like that. The crew will just do their thing. I think at one point it was discussed in the Introversion guys did do dev diaries and stuff, and I'm sure that it was discussed in terms of maybe they were going to look at like that layer, but I think that's been abandoned now. Either that or I've just totally misheard or made that up. But anyway, let's continue on. It matters not. We will go ahead and install things as is per usual. So there we go. Cables, we'll need to connect that up as well. So no, that's wrong. I don't want cables. I want in piping. So there we go. Drag a pipe from the oxygen load to the air duct, like so. Oh, hang on. All right, okay. I'm already getting ahead of the tutorial, so we should probably leave it there. The air duct is activated and pressurizing the cabin. The atmosphere will soon be breathable. So we'll actually open up. If we go to atmosphere, can you see this now? So we've got the oxygen level. Each of these tiles needs to be filled up. So we can see oxygen is now going up in these ones, and because these are adjacent, it's slowly going up as well. In here, you can see it is completely unbreathable. Yeah, it's not something. There's just not a hard vacuum there, but it was only I think it started off at 17% oxygen. Excuse me. So what happens is, once there is a breathable atmosphere, the crew will take off their helmets and suits and stuff. So we don't need to have them in the spacesuits. Let's go to next. The ship has two factory-fitted engines, which we can see at the back there. Yes, that is good. But we need to connect them up. Engines require both power and fuel to operate. We must connect both the engines to fuel and power. Let's start with the starboard engine. Use the pipes menu. Run a pipe to the engine to your existing yellow fuel lines. I tend to have a buffer pipe in the a buffer tank in that instead of just going straight from the fuel canister to the engine, I tend to go with a sort of in between where we have a big big canister where we can fill it up. Anyway, we also need to go to cables now, and we need to connect up the power, so we will run that like so. Fantastic work, the starboard engine is now starting up. Now repeat the process with the port engine. Connect the fuel and power lines to start the engine. Okay, we'll go to pipes, we'll run the pipe up, we'll go to cables, and we'll bring that down just to connect up. Then there we go. Let me turn this on the atmosphere so you can actually see what we're doing there. So you can see we now have the red power cable and then the adjacent fuel pipe. There we go. Both engines will now be operational. There we go. We should give your engines a small test flight. To maneuver the ship, switch to the tactical mode by clicking on the highlighter button or pressing T. So this is tactical, and what will happen is it'll change the view to a more tactical view, I guess, in the sense that we can see things like the armor on the vessel, so all of these crosses here, and things like our throttle controls. So we can say throttle up to, say, there, and that's going to give us a velocity. I think the velocity will go up to 100, but I'm not sure. Also, you gain an evasion chance as well. So the faster you go, you gain a percentage chance to evade shots. We can see some effects out the back there to indicate that we are indeed thrusting. So there we go, and it says control the throttle from here, increasing your engine throttle with its control. And I guess we can go to max if we want, or we can also turn the ship by in tactical mode in the direction we wish to travel. So I can right click, and that will go to that location. So it's going to automatically try and go to where I've selected. That will both alter the course of the vessel as well as the throttle. If you just left click, it just sets the course and keeps the throttle. So there you go. Let's go to, say, there, and we'll close tactical. Your crew will continue to operate the ship and keep the engines running as you travel around. Try flying around the system until you have a handle of the controls. When you have this ready, bring the ship to a stop by setting the throttle to 0 in the tactical mode. So yeah, we can, like I say, control this. Not a problem. What's this here? This says focus there. When enabled, the camera's rotation and position will track the currently selected player. Turning that off gives you free control. Okay, I quite like that. Okay, that's fine. There's been obviously several updates, throughout the course of the game's development. I can't remember exactly when I last played it. Like I say, it was building a section of the Stargate. I had sadly a game-breaking bug where I needed to go to a certain system and harvest some gas, and I just couldn't do it for various reasons, so that's where we stopped it. Otherwise, we would probably continue on, but it's a nice start to go factory fresh, I guess. Anyway, contracts. Let me just close off the tactical there. It says, now that our ship is up and running, we need to earn our way. We can complete contracts for financial rewards and reputation. Open the contract screen and see the list of available contracts. So we'll do just that. Here we have a transport passenger contract. Click on it to see more details. So you can see lots of missions here. So we got courier missions, mining contract, attack and destroy. So they are a different type of mission, and it also shows you if you have the requisite materials or components available. So this says requires an armed combat vessel. We are not able to do that. Same as the mining. We don't have a mining laser or a drone bay and drones, etc. But we are able to do this mission here. It says urgent passenger transport requested. This mission requires us to transport a group of people from here to another location in the sector. Click the accept button to assign this contract to the Procyon. Okay, a group of 19 civilians who are looking for safe transit. The destination is in this sector. Drop them off at the star system NG10. So November Golf 10. Your ship will need enough free cabins in your habitation deck. The mission has been assigned a difficulty rating of 1. Payment will be 38,000 generic units of currency. Let me go to accept and assign. So, the passengers will be delivered to the Procyon via the shuttle, and we can see the shuttle is zipping in now. And if we go in, we should be able to see that. And yeah, it is now docking up. And then we have all of these civilians here. So they all come in. There we go. And it says we cannot deliver these passengers to their destination without faster-than-light travel. Unfortunately, this ship is not equipped with its own FTL drive. We will need to buy one and set it up. So open the trade screen and purchase an FTL drive and some FTL charges. So we go to trading, and not all places where you go to have trading available, I believe. But obviously we're at the shipyard, so you would expect something to be for sale. The items we need are listed under propulsion. Select that category, so we will do just that. And we need one FTL drive, which is 150,000 generic units of currency. We have 300,000, so we will get one of those. We also need to go down and FTL charges. FTL drives consume one fuel charge per jump, should I say. Add 5 FTL charges to the order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Control is all. Yes, it is, and shift is 5. Yeah, but then we will confirm the order. So it shows us on the bottom what we need. So, well, what we've got added here. So it's 150,000 for the FTL drive, and then it's 10,000 for 5 FTL charges, 160,000 total cost. Let me confirm that. And again, a shuttle will deliver the items to us. Okay, let's see. There's the shuttle there. If we zoom out, you can see. Oh, wow! You can zoom out quite a way now. I don't know if that was added in when I last played it. It's good to see new stuff being added to the game. All good. Anyway, let's go to construction installation, FTL Drivingtons, and then install it anywhere. Now, I tend to install it. I normally install it in the same place as the reactor, but that's probably a bad idea because at the end of the day, I'm probably going to be placing more reactors in there. So I'm going to place it on. I'm going to place it out of the way, I think, and go here. And connect the FTL drive to the cable network. Done. It's already done. I've already placed it over there. So once it is in, this should automatically complete. There we go. We can make things more efficient for our crew by telling them to store FTL charges near the FTL drive. Select storage and construction and the charges. So this is previously where I spent a lot of my time, especially when it comes to the building the factory side of it. So this is a storage zone. So you do have generic any equipment and any cargo. You also have storage zones for specific items like FTL charges, and I can say store FTL charges there. So what will happen is the crew will move as a priority the items to that FTL storage, which is, as we can see, over there. So storage, and then it's moving over. Excellent. And we will go to next. All passengers have been delivered to the Procyon, and the FTL drive is operational. We must now plot an FTL jump to the destination. Open the sector map. Sector map. This is a map of all the systems in the sector. Our ship and our space station are located in the middle. There we go. In fact, it even says there, the Procyon cruiser. And yeah, it even says, you are here. There we go. To set a course to the destination labelled transport passengers, there we go, clicking on it. So that is NG10, so we'll select that, and we will prepare the jump. So what happens is, the Procyon will align for hyperspace and prepare the FTL drive to make the jump. So we will install an FTL charge. It will then align to the location, so you can see it is spinning around. We've put on some engines. We've got the list of the FTL jump orders in here. The game still overcorrects the jump, I see. The reason for this is because you can jump multiple vessels, but that's more on that later. And we can see the Procyon cruiser, it is ready. FTL charge is all done, and we will jump. And there we go, interstellar travel, and we can see the percentage bar at the top. Urgent passenger transport requested, that is it. Passengers are on board and transport to the destination, and it is en route, and here we go, we're at our destination. And we have arrived at the destination system. We now need to turn in the complete to passenger contract, open the contract screen, and select the passenger mission. We could just do it from the top there, but we will follow the tutorial. Click on that, and then we will say deliver. And there you go, a shuttle will be dispatched to collect the passengers. It's come out from the middle of nowhere, and we have some more vessels. We've got, that looks like it should be called the Hammerhead. It is not, it is the DRX Halcyon Delta by Rack Rent. So this is probably a player-created ship. I don't know how it got in the game, whether it's randomly taken from the workshop or whether it's been submitted. I'm not too sure, but there's some other ships as well. There is the Jeravin, which is the banana ship. There's the contract completed, by the way, and we can see there's payment, and also it increases our humanitarian rating. Passengers have been arrived safely. passengers have all arrived safely. You will now be paid the fee and will also receive points towards your humanitarian rating, giving you access to more difficult and lucrative missions. We've covered the basics. You've learned how to install equipment on your ship and how to navigate space. The crew you choose is now up to you. There are many opportunities to choose from, and you will earn more as you work. Open the contracts board. Many different types of contract are now available to you. However, you must stay alert, Captain. There are reports of even more lucrative opportunities that you will have to find by yourself. Sector map. Keep a keen eye out for special systems on the map. You'll never know who or what you may find there. So we've got a black hole sun, we've got a wolf in sheep's clothing, and the trouble with tidlets. So in the past, we have done at least 2 of these. It might even be in the 3. The trouble with tidlets I've definitely done. Wolf in sheep's clothing, I'm not, or the black hole sun. I think it's the latter one, but we'll go to next. Whatever you choose, more instructions will be given when required. It's up to you what to do next. So there we go. We are now here. So we're going to take a few missions. Let me go back over to our, oh, there's a new ship there. Let me go back over to the cruiser, and we're just going to see what else have we got? We also have, so this is the editor, and you can edit the ship. And Commander Harkin is calling. Let me get that. So Commander Harkin, my name is Commander Harkin. I'm the Chief of Private Security for the sector. There is a crisis underway, Captain. Commercial vessels are going missing all across the sector. I suspect foul play, and I need your help to investigate. We've received reports of a shipwreck nearby. I believe it to be the wreckage of the Interstellar Prospector, a large commercial vessel that went missing yesterday. Travel to the shipwreck and look for the black box flight recorder in the wreckage. This device will contain a log of what their final moments. To collect the flight recorder, you'll need to install a drone bay and at least one logistics drone. You can buy them from any shipyard or colony. New objective, install a drone bay and have at least one logistics drone. I've marked the location of the shipwreck on your map as a gold highlight. Good luck, Captain. And recover the flight recorder from the UMC Interstellar Prospector. So if we check the map, we can see that we are here on the right, and we need to go to where? It needs, over on there, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay, so we have that. And, well, we will do that. We will follow up on it. So I'm going to go, well, I'll cover what I was on about earlier. So this is the editor, and you can do this where there is a shipyard. I think, actually, you might be able to do it anywhere, but you might not be able to just build it. And you've got a symmetry line that you can add. You can move the symmetry line around there. You can draw the hull and flaws, so you can add things like this and then confirm that, or you can just right click and get rid. You've got floors, walls, armor, habitation. That's the thing on the top there. Scaffolding, dock. Oh, that's interesting. Dock originally wasn't in the game. I think dock was. This is curious. Okay, dock and equipment, I don't believe was in the game at the time. That was something you bought from the shop. Like, you bought from trading and then you installed it? How curious. Let me double check here. Let me go to battery, because I always want a couple of batteries. And I'll put a couple in here. And, so this is where we can say auto buy. Right. So it allows us to plan things and then auto buy. Oh, that's really good. I like that. I'm going to go with some thrusters. I always tend to put thrusters on the vessels. And you can see I've put auto buy on this one. And is this buying it on our own? It's just buying it by all of it's just doing it on its own. Okay. That's fine. We've got deflectors, you've got all manner of items. You've got waste treatments and purifiers. We'll get onto that later on. Hyperspace scoops, and there's hydroponics. Some of this I tried back in the early access days, and lightning rods, that's new. Okay. Things like the hydroponics and things like that, and the waste treatment, I always felt it was a bit underbaked, like there was more to be added. I wonder if that's been actioned on or not, or whether that was always just the intention of it. I don't know. But anyway, there's that now done. I'm just going to say buy all available. And oh, look at that. So we can only put one battery in. So from this mode, I've planned these off, but I think we can only put in one battery. So when I go to somewhere, it will probably add these others in. You've also got a raise, and you can paint. So you can paint all the different color schemes on here and change the details and stuff. So there's lots of options there. Let's say trading, we've covered that. In fact, what did I need to install? It was a logistics bay, wasn't it? So logistics was in a drone. Let me go off here and drone. I'm gonna get 1, 2 drone bays and all the logistics drone they have. No, I'm not. That's too expensive. Let me back that up, and that will do. 1 drone bay will have to suffice. So that's now in. I'm going to go over to, what shall we see here? Let's go with cables, and we will have a cable that comes down into that thruster, opening that thruster. The thrusters allow you to, well, you'll be able to maneuver better. Specifically as well, when you're in tactical mode, you can go to maneuvering and you can alter the like the pitch and the roll and everything else. You can't really see much in here because obviously it's all dependent on what you're next to. But if I go towards this defense platform Mark III, the first 2 were destroyed. What's the quote? Yeah, why is it called Babylon 5? The first 3 were destroyed. The 4th mysteriously disappeared, and the 5th, well, you're standing on it. Let's go here. No, there's only going to be a very, very limited age of people and numbers that know about that reference. Getting old. Right, we've got contracts. Yes, we've got the power grid, which you can see what we're generating, the battery storage and what is using it. FTL we've covered, sector map we've covered as well. I do need to go over there. I will just say prepare the jump. We've got the recipes, which shows you, oh, that is good. I like that. And can you click on these and jump back? Yes, you can. Excellent. So when you're making things, it shows you recipes. So 5 metal ingots into the fabricator, 10 megawatts produces the frame. Doesn't tell me the timings though. Doesn't tell me how many you're going to create. Well, it tells me how many you're going to create. So 2 metal ingots and 2 copper ingots in a fabricator gives us a motor, but it doesn't tell me how long it takes. But we'll cover that later on. There's your research tree, and it is not massively expansive, but it's enough for our needs at the moment. You've got things like drone speed, different things like your construction project, habitability, logistics, automation, reactor efficiency and such. So yeah, let's close that down. And then orders. So whether you want the crew to always wear suits or whether you want them to gather materials or repair, again, all this will come into play later on. So what did I want to do? Well, I wanted to stop rambling on and install the drone bay. And well, I can put it wherever. I guess I could shove it. Oh, I can't place it there because that is in the wake of the engines. So we're not going to put it there. I can. I've got an entranceway in here, so I'm maybe going to put it on the other side. I'll probably put 2 in at some point, but there will do for now. Oh, you can see I've got some tanks actually. I've got a medium tank and some small tanks. I'm probably going to use one of the tanks, this medium one, to go there, and that you can see is in between the fuel system, or rather it's somewhere in this fuel line. So let's just install that, and also, oh yes, install cables and battery like that. Okay, so we're going to put the fuel in the loader. It's then going to start filling up the medium tank, which is all good. But the battery's going up as well, so any spare energy will go into the battery, and any deficit will come off that as well. Right, over to here, ready to jump? Jump. So we need to dock up to the ship. This is a wolf in sheep's clothing, part 1, and we will see what is here. I have a feeling we're going to grab the black box and have to get out sooner rather than later. I also haven't installed the drone bay. Let me go ahead and do that now. Let's go to cables. I'll bring a cable through the spine of the ship and do that. So, over here we can see that there is, well, a wreckage. And I think that is the black box. Commander Harkin. So, the flight recorder should be near the derelict interstellar prospector. Move towards it so your drones can pick it up. Let me go to this mode here. And what's this? Docking assist. When enabled, the docking assist will perform the final maneuver required to dock your ship to another once you are close enough. Recommended for disabled fleet formation. Alright, okay. Fair enough. So there's docking help. So we are now heading towards the wrecked vessel. Other things of note, on the left we have our crew. It shows 5 of 5 because it's 5 idle. Those are split between crew, which is the basically generic amount of people that can do things. You've also got scientists, which are research and weapon officers, which man the tactical. You've got oxygen, water, food, fuel, and FTL charges. You can see now what's happening is, from the drone bay, we've got these drones that are getting fired out from the side, and they will basically grab something and then put it in the drone bay, and then the crew will pick stuff and then place it in either this box here or the cargoes. So we have recovered the flight recorder. You've recovered the flight recorder. Bring it to me. I'm on board the Vanguard, sending our location now. Objective, return the flight recorder to Commander Harkin. So I will go here. Commander Harkin is there. I should point out that you do need a direct, almost line of sight to the destination. If, for example, I was trying to go through, well, here to NG12, I can't go through NG9. That's actually how my previous previous save failed. There was one place I had to go to, and I was right on top of each other, so I blocked them. Not good. Suboptimal, one would say. But it was early access. You do expect these things, so not ideal, but yeah. Right, let me go to Commander Harkin, prepare the jump. So once again, the crew is going to align the vessel. You don't have like a. Interestingly, is everything aboard? If you've got drones still gathering stuff, then it will tell you. Yes, we're fine. Yeah, the crew doesn't have like a bridge or anything like that. You don't have to have someone on controls. They just wander around. This is like basically the engineering section. That is, I think, how it's described. This is, what you'll basically spend a lot of your time doing. And there we go. There is the Vanguard, the UMC Vanguard. And, well, I will go to Tactical, and I'm going to pull alongside it. So there it is there. Return the flight recorder to Commander Harkin. So I'm just going to get closer. What will probably happen is we've got an option to deliver, so I'll do just that. And we can see that. Oh, so their vessel is moving as well. It is coming to dock with ours. You know what I'll do is I'm just going to set our thrusters to 0, and I'm going to let their ship do its thing. You can see the amount of thrusters on the side of it. I've got a thruster either side and 2 engines. This got a lot more, and it is docking in. We can see that it is... Oh, it's struggling. It's struggling. It's going to go past it, and there we go. So it's extended the docking collar, and our crew will bring the part to Commander Harkin in the Vanguard. And thank you for returning the flight recorder, Captain. We are in a grip of a major crisis. Commercial vessels laden with valuable cargo are being targeted and destroyed. These vessels are under our protection, but often lack any serious defences and barely have the chance to send out a distress call before they are plundered. This is a calculated assault on the free market, trade and industry within the sector, and it cannot be allowed to continue. I'm sending you the coordinates of 2 more stricken vessels, pinpointing their last known locations before they went dark. We need you to travel to the wreckage of each of these ships, collect whatever evidence you can. The primary objective is the safe recovery of the Black Box flight recorders, which will contain a log of their final moments. Here are the coordinates of the 2 shipwrecks you need to visit. New objective: recover the flight recorder from the UMC Infinite Horizon, and recover the flight recorder from the UMC Celestial Hauler. The 4th vessel to be targeted managed to send out a distress call. Local security forces responded too late and found nothing but a destroyed fuselage with a presumed loss of all crew. And, oh, this is the only image they managed to send before their transmission went dead. Anomaly detected, identifying, and there is the ship. Okay. The wreckage, which is the forensic evidence of their fate, was collected and taken back to system NG14, where it's currently sitting in storage. We need you to send a ship to collect the wreckage and bring it bring it to us along with the recovered flight box module. New objective: collect the wreckage from the UMC Stellar Horizon in system NG-14 and bring all the recovered wreckage and black box flight recorders back to me for analysis on board my ship, the Vanguard, to complete the contract. Okay, so we have returned one of the flight recorders, and we have to get... well, we need to get 2 more flight recorders and return them, and also the wreckage. So if we go onto map, we can see we have Commander Harkin here, and we need to go to where? There, Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, collect the wreckage for the UMC Still Horizon. So there's the wreckage. And next to us is another flight recorder, and then over at the top there, yeah, so we've got the Celestial Hauler, the Infinite Horizon, the Colony, where the parts are being held, and then obviously we've got a couple of these here, which is the unknowns, which are different missions entirely. You can go to dark mode, by the way. That's I think what the game is normally showing, but yeah, for visibility it has this on, so yeah, that's all good. And well, I think we will leave it there for now. That has been a bit of the Last Starship, the very first mission of several, and obviously our very small fleet, just the start of our journey in the game on version 1.0, which has added in, by the look of it, some new stuff since I last played it. So looking forward to see how we get on. Next time in the Last Starship, we will look at going and collecting the other couple of flight recorders and also the parts and bringing them back here, and then obviously we need to progress on, and well, we'll see how it goes. As always, let me know what you think in the comments and we will go from there. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.